Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about relationships because I've been around long enough to know how men think, and I've had the privilege of listening to women share their struggles, their frustrations, and their victories in love. One of the biggest mysteries women have is how to get a man to stop playing games, how to make him show up, and how to make him pursue her the way she deserves to be pursued. And here's the thing, it doesn't always take grand gestures, long paragraphs, or endless explanations. Sometimes it just takes the right 5 words at the right moment to flip the entire game. Those words carry a power that touches a man's pride, sparks his interest, and keeps him running after you because it triggers the part of him that wants to win you, to prove himself worthy of you, and to never let you slip away. Ladies and gentlemen, let me talk to you today about something that a lot of people misunderstand when it comes to love, attraction, and relationships. We live in a world that has become so fast, so instant, and so easy that people think relationships should work the same way. They think if you like someone, you text them all day, you pour your heart out, and boom, you've got a solid relationship. But the truth is, real connection doesn't work like that. Men, in particular, are wired differently. See, when it comes to love, men are hunters. It's in our DNA. It's in the way we've been wired from the beginning of time. A man wants to pursue, he wants to chase, he wants to feel like he's winning something valuable. That's not just how we operate in relationships, that's how we operate in life. Give a man something too easy, too quick, too effortless, and his interest starts to fade. But give him something that challenges him, that makes him rise up, that makes him work a little harder than the rest, and suddenly you've got his focus, his energy, and his commitment. When I say men are hunters, I don't mean it in a negative way. I mean it in the sense that pursuit gives a man purpose. Imagine a man in the wild. He's not sitting around waiting for food to land in his lap. He's up at dawn tracking, chasing, strategizing, putting his strength and his mind to the test because that's how he survives. That's how he proves his ability. Now, when it comes to relationships, that instinct doesn't just disappear. Deep down, a man still wants to feel like he earned something, like he went after something special and he got it because he put in the effort. And ladies, here's the key. When you understand this about men, you stop feeling like you have to do all the work. You stop sending long explanations trying to convince him of your worth. You stop begging him to notice you. Instead, you let him hunt. You let him pursue. You position yourself in a way where he recognizes that if he doesn't step up, if he doesn't do the work, he's going to miss out. Now let's bring it to those 5 words, the words that spark pursuit. Those 5 words are powerful not because they're magical in themselves, but because they align with that hunter instinct inside of him. They remind him, without a full lecture, that the chase isn't over, that he has something valuable in front of him, and that if he wants to keep you, he's got to keep proving himself. A man can only grow when he has something worth chasing. If everything is just handed to him, he doesn't learn, he doesn't appreciate, and he doesn't value it. But when he has to put forth effort, when he has to step into his role as a pursuer, he starts to see you as more than just another person. He sees you as the prize. And let me be real with you. Men don't fall in love the way women do. Women often connect through emotion, through nurturing, through the sharing of feelings and experiences. But a man falls in love through effort. He falls in love with the person he had to work for, the one he had to prove himself to, the one he had to chase. Because every step of that pursuit imprints on him that you are valuable. It tells him, I had to give my time, I had to give my energy, I had to sacrifice, I had to think, I had to grow, I had to show up. And when he finally wins your love, that effort is part of the story. He doesn't want to lose it because he knows what it took to get there. Too many women today make the mistake of taking away that pursuit. They think if they don't constantly show interest, if they don't overgive, the man will lose interest. But it's actually the opposite. The more you give without him earning it, the less he values it. The more you explain yourself, the less he listens. The more you chase him, the faster he runs. But when you let him come to you, when you send those 5 words at the right time, you remind him that you're not sitting here waiting, you're not begging, and you're not afraid to walk away if he doesn't step up. That's when he gets in gear. That's when the hunt begins again. And trust me, a man in pursuit mode is a man on fire. He's calling, he's planning, he's putting in effort because now his pride and his heart are tied to winning you over. Think about it like this. If a man goes fishing and he catches something without even casting a line, he's not telling that story for the rest of his life. But if he had to get up at 4 in the morning, pack his gear, wait for hours, fight the waves, and finally reel in that fish, he's telling that story forever. He's proud of it. He respects it. That's what pursuit does for a man in a relationship. It makes him value what he's won. It makes him brag about it. It makes him want to keep it. And if you take that away from him, if you hand yourself over without effort, you rob him of the chance to see you as his greatest catch. So, ladies, the first key is understanding the hunter inside of him. When you text those 5 words, you're not just sending a message, you're triggering his natural instinct to chase, to focus, to prove himself. You're reminding him that you're not just anyone, you're someone worth the work. And when a man feels that, when he feels that fire, he doesn't stop until he knows you're his. Ladies and gentlemen, let me say something real clear tonight. Confidence is everything. If you don't know your own worth, if you don't recognize that you are the prize, then you're already behind in the game. And I'm not just talking to the women, but especially to the women, because in relationships, a man is going to treat you the way you show him to treat you. If you present yourself as someone who doubts, who begs, who compromises too much, then that's exactly how I'll handle you. But if you stand tall, if you carry yourself like you know you bring value to the table, if you don't need to scream or explain, but simply exist with strength and assurance, then that's when a man starts to look at you differently. He sees you as rare. He sees you as special. And he knows if he doesn't chase you, somebody else will. See, confidence isn't about being loud. It's not about being arrogant. It's about knowing your own value before anybody else validates it. The problem is, so many women tie their value to what a man says or what a man does. If he calls, they feel good. If he doesn't, they feel worthless. If he compliments them, they glow. If he doesn't, they feel invisible. But that's the wrong way to live. Because when your worth depends on someone else, you hand over your power. And when a man feels that you've given him all your power, he loses respect. He doesn't even mean to sometimes, it just happens. Human nature tells us that what's handed over too easily can't possibly be rare. But when a woman holds herself with confidence, when she says with her presence, I am valuable whether you see it or not, that's when she turns heads. That's when she changes the game. Let's bring this down to those 5 words we're talking about. When you send those words with confidence, it's not about desperation. It's not about crying out for attention. It's about setting a standard. It's about saying, look, I know what I deserve, and I'm not afraid to step back if I'm not getting it. Men respect that. They may not admit it, but they crave it, because deep down, every man knows that a woman who values herself makes him rise higher. She forces him to play at a different level. And here's the truth. A man may play around with somebody who doesn't respect herself, but he will commit to the one who demands respect through her confidence. That's the difference. Confidence makes those 5 words powerful because it puts the control back in your hands. You're not waiting on him to decide your value. You've already decided it. You're not hoping he chooses you. You've already chosen yourself. And when a man sees that, it changes his whole approach. He knows he can't slack. He knows he can't half-step. He knows he can't come with excuses, because your confidence tells him that if he doesn't rise up, you'll keep moving and you won't look back. That's powerful. That's the kind of energy that makes a man chase nonstop. Now, let me be honest with you. Men love a challenge, not the kind of drama where everything is difficult for no reason, but the kind of challenge where they know they're with a woman who doesn't need them to survive, but chooses them because she wants them. That's confidence. A confident woman doesn't cry at the thought of being alone because she knows she can handle her own life. She doesn't settle for crumbs because she knows she deserves the whole meal. She doesn't lower her standards because she knows her standards are what protect her from wasting her time. That's why men chase confident women, because they know if they catch her, they've really caught something. And here's the other thing. Confidence isn't about what you say, it's about how you carry yourself every day. It's in the way you walk into a room. It's in the way you look at yourself in the mirror. It's in the way you answer the phone. It's in the way you don't rush to respond just because you're scared he'll lose interest. That presence speaks louder than any speech you could ever give. And when you back that up with those 5 words, it lands with force. A man feels it. He knows he's dealing with someone who is not playing small, who is not insecure, who is not desperate. He's dealing with someone who is sure of herself. And that's attractive on a whole different level. So many women think men only want looks or youth or a certain body type. And yes, men may notice those things, but let me tell you, looks will get his attention, but confidence will keep it. Looks fade, trends change, but a woman who stands strong in her self-worth is unforgettable. She sticks in a man's mind. She challenges him. She inspires him. And those 5 words from her don't just read like a text, they echo in his mind because of who she is behind them. Confidence transforms the game. It takes those words and makes them more than just a sentence. It makes them a standard, a line in the sand, a reminder that she's not here to play small. And when you carry yourself like that, when you let a man see that you know your worth, he has no choice but to chase. Because deep down, every man wants to be worthy of a woman who knows she's worthy. That's the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about timing, because in love and relationships, timing can make or break everything. You can say the right words, you can send the right text, you can even carry yourself with confidence, but if you do it at the wrong time, it loses its impact. Timing is what makes a message land. Timing is what makes a man stop and pay attention. Timing is what makes those 5 words echo in his mind instead of going in one ear and out the other. Now, here's the thing. Men are creatures of comfort. We get used to routines. We get used to knowing you'll always be there, and we get lazy. That's just how it is. A man who feels like you're available to him no matter what starts to relax too much. He starts thinking, I don't have to call her back right away, she'll be there. I don't have to plan anything special, she'll still show up. I don't have to give my best effort because she's already mine. And when he gets too comfortable, the chase dies. He doesn't feel urgency, he doesn't feel pressure, and he doesn't feel the need to prove himself. That's where timing comes in. Those 5 words you send him, they can reignite his pursuit if you deliver them at the right moment. If you send them when he's distracted, when he's not giving you effort, when he's getting too casual, that's when they wake him up. They shake him. They remind him, hold on, she's not just going to sit here forever while I do the bare minimum. Timing is everything because it turns your words into a wake-up call. Think about it like this. If you cheer for a man before he even gets to the finish line, it doesn't mean as much. But when he's about to give up, when he's slowing down, when he's losing steam, and you say the right words, suddenly he pushes harder. That's what timing does. It gives power to your words. A man who thinks you'll never leave has no reason to chase, but a man who realizes he might lose you. Now he's running. Now he's planning. Now he's planning. That urgency is born from timing. Ladies, you've got to know when to hold back. Every moment isn't the right moment to text him how you feel. Every situation doesn't need your full explanation. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is stay quiet and wait. Wait until the moment when his effort is slipping. Wait until the moment when he's taking you for granted. That's when those 5 words carry weight. That's when they hit different. That's when he sits up straight and says to himself, if I don't step it up, I might lose her. And let me tell you, men don't admit it out loud, but we respond to urgency. We respond to pressure. We respond when we feel like something valuable is slipping through our hands. If you give a man unlimited time, he will take it. But if you show him that time is not forever, that your patience has limits, then you change his mindset. Suddenly, you're not someone he can call when it's convenient. You're someone he has to prioritize. That's the power of timing. Now, let's be clear. Timing doesn't mean playing games. It's not about pretending you're busy when you're not. It's not about waiting days just to prove a point. That's manipulation, and manipulation doesn't last. Timing is about wisdom. It's about knowing when to step forward and when to step back. It's about knowing when your words will be heard the loudest. And sometimes the right time is when you stop giving everything and make him notice the silence. Men notice silence. They notice when the energy shifts. And in that moment, a short, simple 5-word message can feel like thunder in his chest. I'll give you an example. Let's say a man hasn't been calling the way he used to. He's not planning dates. He's acting like you're just an option on the side. Now, if you flood his phone with paragraphs, he tunes out. But if you wait, let him sit in that silence for a minute, and then you send those 5 words, it snaps him out of that comfort zone. He thinks, oh no, she's not waiting on me anymore. That's when his pursuit kicks back in. That's when he calls. That's when he shows up, because timing made your words unforgettable. It's the same in life. Timing is everything. You don't plant a seed in the dead of winter and expect it to bloom. You wait for the season that can nurture it. Relationships work the same way. You don't drop heavy words when emotions are too high, because they'll get lost. You don't deliver your standard when he's already giving you effort, because it looks ungrateful. You wait for the moment when his effort is slipping, when he's forgetting the prize he's chasing. That's when your words bring him back into focus. And here's the truth. Men may not show it, but they respect a woman who knows how to use timing. They respect a woman who doesn't just react to every moment, but chooses her moment, because that tells him she's not desperate. That tells him she's strategic. That tells him she's in control of herself. And trust me, when a man feels like a woman is in control of herself, he respects her even more, and he doesn't want to risk losing her. So those 5 words, combined with the power of timing, create urgency. They remind him that nothing is guaranteed. They remind him that your time is valuable. They remind him that if he doesn't step up, somebody else will. And that urgency is what makes a man chase nonstop. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that people overlook all the time. Simplicity has power. See, in this world today, everything is complicated. People complicate relationships. They complicate conversations. They complicate love. They think if they say more, if they explain more, if they pour out everything they feel in long messages, somehow that will get through to a man. But the truth is, men don't work like that. Men don't process every little detail of a 5-paragraph text. We don't dissect emotions line by line. You hit us with too much at once and we shut down. We skim. We miss the point. But when you keep it simple, when you give it to us straight, when you use just a few words with meaning behind them, that's when it sticks. That's when it lingers in our mind long after the phone is put down. Now, I'm not saying men can't handle depth. We can, but we don't absorb it through overload. We respond to clarity. When a woman knows how to deliver her message in the simplest way, it has more weight. Those 5 words we're talking about, they don't work because they're poetic or because they're fancy. They work because they're simple, because they get straight to the point, because they leave no room for confusion, and because they're short enough for a man to remember. Trust me, men replay short sentences in their head far more than long speeches. You send a man one powerful line, and he'll read it 5 times. You send him a page, and he'll glance once and put the phone down. That's the difference. Simplicity also creates curiosity. If you text a man a whole explanation, you leave nothing for him to wonder about, nothing for him to think about, nothing for him to chase. But if you drop something short, clear, and powerful, he sits there wondering what's behind it. He fills in the gaps. He thinks about it all day. He starts asking questions. He starts chasing because you didn't give him the whole story. You gave him just enough to spark his effort. That's how simplicity works. It's not about withholding. It's about making space for him to lean in, to pursue, to engage with you instead of sitting back passively while you do all the talking. And let me tell you, men admire women who know how to be direct. If you can say what you mean in 5 words instead of 50, you come across as confident and in control. You come across as someone who doesn't need to beg, who doesn't need to over-explain, who knows her worth and doesn't waste time proving it to anyone. That directness is magnetic. It makes a man stop and pay attention because it tells him she knows what she wants and she's not afraid to say it. And that kind of energy doesn't just attract men, it keeps them. There's another layer to simplicity too, and that's emotional control. When you keep your words simple, you're not letting your emotions spill everywhere. You're not letting frustration or insecurity write the message for you. You're choosing clarity over chaos, and men respect that. Because when a woman is in control of how she communicates, it makes him feel like she's in control of herself. And self-control is powerful. A woman who can keep it simple is a woman who won't let her emotions be used against her, who won't waste her time begging, who won't confuse him with mixed signals. She's steady, she's clear. And that steadiness makes a man want to hold on. Think about it. How many times have you heard stories of men saying they remember one thing a woman said to them years ago? Not a whole conversation, not an entire page, just one line. That's because simplicity burns into memory. It lasts. You don't remember every detail of a long speech, but you remember that one line that hit your heart. That's what those 5 words do. They become that line he can't forget. He hears them in your voice long after the text is read. He replays them when he's driving, when he's sitting alone, when he's deciding whether to step up. Simplicity makes words eternal. And I know some of you are thinking, but Steve, if I don't explain myself, how will he know what I'm feeling? Trust me, he will. Men may not catch every detail, but we catch the energy behind your words. And when you strip it down to the simplest form, the energy speaks louder. 5 strong words with confidence behind them tell him more than 10 paragraphs ever could. Because now he feels the standard. He feels the boundary. He feels the strength in your voice without you having to write a book. And that feeling is what makes him chase. Simplicity also prevents regret. Sometimes in the heat of emotion, people say too much. They pour out everything and then later wish they hadn't. But when you keep it simple, you never give away more than you wanted to. You never look back wishing you hadn't said all that. You stay in control of your message, and that control protects your dignity. And dignity is one of the most attractive things a woman can have in a man's eyes. He looks at you and says, she doesn't waste her breath. She doesn't waste her words. When she speaks, she means it. That right there makes him respect you. That right there makes him chase. So ladies, understand this, the power of those 5 words is not in their length. It's in their simplicity. Short, clear, unforgettable. Simplicity turns a text into a thought he can't shake. Simplicity keeps him coming back to figure you out. Simplicity makes you look confident, in control, and unforgettable. And when you combine that with timing, with confidence, with his natural instinct to pursue, you've got the formula that makes a man chase you nonstop.